Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to see Unit 4. The lesson name is Matter. So, in this topic, we are going to discuss about the different types of matter, various elements, and their symbols to be represented, and we'll also learn about the classification of elements and their properties. So, what is matter? All the things that you see around is called matter. Not only around us, the earth itself is made up of three types of matter. So as you can see, earth is a mixture of solids, liquids and gas. What is this matter made up of? Yes, it is made up of atoms and compounds. Atoms are the smallest constituent of the particle. They bond with themselves and make up the things that you see around. So you can say a table, a chair, everything is matter that has its own mass and it takes up its own volume. Now let's have a short recall or the memory of what we have already studied, that is about an atom, molecule and an ion. So an atom, it determines the property of the element. They take part in the chemical reaction that brings about the change in the element. Molecules, atoms of one element or atoms of different element combines to form molecules. Ions, positive or the negatively charged particle in an atom is called ions. So we know that atoms are made up of protons, neutrons and electrons. These protons, neutrons and electrons are called ions. We all have seen the periodic table, right? So we have 118 elements in the periodic table. It is difficult for us each time to write the name of the element. So the scientists plan to have symbol of each element. So now we are going to see the four types of symbols which were determined earlier. The first type under it is going to be the Greek symbol. This is the most ancient or the old way of giving symbols. So as you can see here, these are the symbols which are organized by the Greek. Air, fire, water and earth. The orientation of triangle is determined by the warmth or the coldness, or it can also be determined as male or female. Each element has its own quality that is different from the other. So you can see that air can be both moist and warm like fire, but it cannot be related to earth in any way. So air and earth are opposite, and the orientation of the triangle is also different. Similarly, water and fire are also in the opposite sides of the crossbar. Type of symbol is alchemist symbol. So alchemist comes from a Greek word called chemia, meaning transmuting metals, that is transforming from one state to another. They also used the Greek symbols of elements to transfer the basic metals like copper or bronze into gold or silver. The next type is Dalton symbol. In the year 1808, John Dalton gave the pictorial representation of symbols. So this is how it looked. It also seems to be difficult, so they remain only as historical importance. Then comes another scientist named John Berzelius in 1813 to represent the symbols using alphabets of the names of the elements. That is called Berzelius system of symbols. So what did he do? How is it working now? The first thing he considered was the first alphabet. So he decided to represent the symbol of the elements using the first letter, and he represented them as B for boron, C for carbon and F for fluorine are some of the examples. Secondly, he also identified that many other elements also starting with the same letter. So he decided to name the elements with the same letter using the first two alphabets. The first letter will be in capital and the second letter will be in small. So for example, we have aluminium as Al, bismuth as Bi, argon as Ar. Later, he also found elements having the same first two letters. So such elements were represented by the third letter that was not common with other. Such elements were chlorine and chromium. They have the first two letters as common, but the third letter is different. So chlorine was given the symbol Cl and chromium was given the symbol Cr. Similarly, magnesium and manganese, they both have the first two letters as common, third letter is different. So magnesium was given the symbol Mg and manganese was given the symbol Mn. He also named certain elements with their Latin names. For example, sodium was named after the Latin name natrium, potassium was named after the Latin name kalium as K, and gold was named after the Latin name aurum as Au. Certain other elements were also represented based upon the color or the country where they are found abundant, or the scientist who discovered it, or the planets in which they are found. For example, uranium is named after the planet Uranus. Europium is named after the country Europe. So now, can we write the symbol of the element? Yes, obviously we can. So first thing is we need to look at the element. If we are going to use the first letter of the element, then it is going to be in capital letter. If the first letter is common, then the second letter also can be added in as a small one. Now what is the significance of this? What is it telling us, this system of symbols? So this system, the name of the element can be found out easily. So when I say Na, you can say it is as sodium. When I say K, you say it is potassium. So the first significant is the name of the element is known easily. The second one, how many atoms present can also be represented in this symbol. For example, if I write only O, it is going to tell me a single atom of oxygen. If I write O2, it is 2 atoms or 1 molecule of oxygen. So therefore, this system of units is followed under the heading System for Determining Symbols of the Elements. Now, the elements are classified into 3 types. They are metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So now we will see about